Hey y'all, what is up? Keasbey here, and as always, Konami dropped a ban list as I was in the middle of editing a video, so we gotta stop that. And we're gonna take a look at the ban list, and I'll give you my first thoughts and reaction to it. But before we get into that, don't forget to drop this video a like, subscribe to the channel for even more, and as always, if you want to help support the channel that little bit extra, check the link in the description to grab yourself a Keasbey TCG exclusive playmat. Alright, so haven't seen this ban list yet. I do know one thing that got hit. Well, I know two things because the other one's on screen with it right now. But the one thing I do know that got hit was Barrier Statue, and that's because I think like 10 people texted me to tell me Barrier Statue got banned. So let's get into it. Artifact Scythe is the first ban on here. I mean, I think it's fine. I'm kind of surprised they're doing it now and not a while ago. I haven't seen Artifact Scythe in a hot minute. But, you know what, it had a moment where it had to go, and might as well just get rid of it now before it can become a problem down the line again. So, okay, not a bad hit. Barrier Statue of the Stormwind. So, this may surprise you. This was not a floowandereeze hit. This is a Kashtira hit. Kashtira has the ability to go through their whole combo, doing everything where they banish a bunch of your deck face down, then they end on Kashtira Risen Heart, which is a Dark Law, plus a quick effect Vanish face down. And then if they have extra rank 7s, they make the Raid Raptor rank 7 and also throw a Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds on top of all that. So I don't think this was a floowandereeze hit. I think this was a Kashtira hit, but it also does hit floowandereeze. That being said, I got to Diamond on Master Duel with no Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds and a less consistent version of the floowandereeze deck. Granted, it had Max C, but I think floowandereeze is going to be fine with that Barrier Statue. It's kind of seems to have been shifting into that blind second sort of build. So I think losing Barrier Statue is just kind of taking away like a little bit of lockdown power. But we still have plenty of it in, you know, stuff like Dreaming Town, even Mpen's Floodgate, depending on the matchup. And of course, Ryza. So, you know, we go second, we break a board. It does kind of affect our going first plays, depending on how we play it out. But most of the time when I'm going first, I don't even like ending on Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds, especially in a game 2 or 3 situation where I know I'm probably going to be contesting with Lightning Storm, Dark Ruin no more, and things like that. So, all in all, I think floowandereeze is going to be just fine with that Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds. Just means I'm running a 40 card deck now instead of a 41. Tearlaments Kitkalos is gone. Okay, that's a pretty big hit to Tearlaments. I know that's like a major step in their combos. It's usually ends in me watching them mill 8 cards, which ends in more mills and all the fusion summons in the world. So, okay, Tearlaments Kitkalos, good hit. I think Tearlaments will be okay with that. And Spright Elf gone. Okay, so I've been saying for a while that I think Spright Elf is going to go. It's just so generically strong, and there's so much, like there's so many decks that have access to level 2s that are really good. I don't know how much this actually hurts Spright. I know it takes away like the easy ability to make it totally awesome, but everyone was freaking out that they couldn't make totally awesome with the last ban list, and Spright just said, hey look, we can still make totally awesome, so I'm sure they'll figure out a way. And that's it for the monsters. No spells, no traps. All right, that's it. So let's look at some limits. Oh, okay. So 2 Ishizu support cards are limited. Kelbeck and Yugioh. I always mix up which ones. I know Kelbeck is a mill. I forget if Yugioh is also a mill or a shuffleback one. Oh, and Keldo. Okay. And Mudora. So the entire Ishizu half of the Tearlaments Ishizu deck has been limited. Definitely a really big consistency hit. I mean, you still have access to a fair amount of milling, so like the odds of you hitting one of the mill 5 ones, while not as high as they previously were, the chances still exist. You have the shufflebacks too that you can recycle stuff after the turn and potentially like do milling on your opponent's turn via Havness and stuff like that. But that's a really nasty consistency hit to that deck. I mean, it's not going to be tier 0 anymore, just looking at what they've hit so far. What else would... Wow. I'm sorry to anyone who played Tearlaments. You guys, oof, you got the short end of the stick on this one. That's rough. I mean, the field spell's still at 3, Rhino Heart's still at 3, so like your play starters are all still at 3, so you do have something there. Kit Kalos being gone is a pretty nasty hit though. And on top of all this, I mean, I don't play Tearlaments, like I'm just familiar enough with it to play against it, and I could probably like loosely pilot one. So I can't really speak to how much this hits the deck, but this feels like a massive, massive takedown of this deck. Like, my first impression is it's still playable, but like, is it even tier 1 anymore? Oof. Oh, Ancient Fairy Dragon. Yeah, I mean, it got an errata, so we all knew that was coming back. That's not a surprise. Anything else? Nope. All right. No semis, okay. And let's look at some unbans. Destruda, the Lost Dragon's Frisian. Okay, I mean, I think that's fine. Jet Synchron and Mecha Fan of Beast O-Lion. Halka Fibrex and Link Cross are both gone. I don't really see them doing that much. I mean, Jet Synchron is a Link 2 by itself in a lot of cases, but a lot of the generically broken Link 2s are gone. True King, Lithosgasm, the Disaster. I don't really know that much about this deck, so I can't really speak to that, but I can't imagine it doing that much. I can promise you Yatagarasu at 3 is not going to make a difference. Yatagarasu could have come to 3 immediately. Servant of Endymion, that's pretty cool that that's coming back to 3. I know a lot of people like the Endymion deck, especially on Master Duel, so I can see maybe that seeping into the TCG and it getting a little bit of a resurgence of play. I don't know if it's going to really like stick in any major way, but not a bad on hit. And Spiral Resort, kind of the same feeling I have about Servant of Endymion, so I don't think it's going to be anything like majorly meta relevant, but I think people are definitely going to play around with it. Okay, so overall, Kashtira won the ban list for sure. They lost a weird little extra thing they can do at the end of their already absurd combo in Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds. Floowandereeze also lost Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds, but I think we're only a little bit more affected by that than Kashtira is. Artifact Scythe gone. Yep, that's future-proofing for sure. Yeah, Tearlaments just, oof. I gotta talk to my Tearlament friends and make sure they're okay after this. And yeah, I'm going to probably let the meta settle a little bit before I really dive in and rework my Floowandereeze deck, besides just taking the barrier statues out. And yeah, expect a new list for that soon, and expect some content for a new archetype. Get excited. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop it a like, subscribe to the channel for even more, and as always, if you want to help support the channel that little bit extra, check the link in the description to grab yourself a Keasbey TCG exclusive playmat, and I will catch you all later.